requirement of the transmission. And syntax planning, that is the fixing the order of the sentences. These are the three important steps which are taken for natural language sentence generation. So a typical system for natural language sentence generation would look like this. The intermediate representation is parsed, sometimes it is repaired, because the analysis stage could not produce a perfect graph, meaning graph. Then lexeme selection is word mapping. You have to choose the correct word. So words in disambiguation is required. Case identification, correct case markers have to be picked up, ne, ko, se, etc. Then words have to be transformed according to the tense, number, person, and so on. Jaunga, for example, from jana. Function word insertion, KDA, key, etc. Then syntax planning, how do you place the words in appropriate order. Okay. So all these require lots of machinery in terms of resources and tools which are shown here. Natural language generation sometimes seems like an easier problem compared to analysis, but it is not so when it comes to choice of correct words. Okay. The word mummy, for example, is very informal. My mummy is not well today. It is good to choose this for an informal chat. But imagine using this word in a formal application. Dear sir, grant me a leave for 1 week because my mummy is not well. Okay? The word doesn't fit there. So when a natural language generation system has to work correctly, it has to pick the words according to register, what is called register. Okay. So now a very brief look at another major approach in machine translation. This is called transfer-based approach. And here I would like to share our experiences in Marathi, Hindi, machine translation. These two languages are very close to each other. And after this, we'll move into statistical machine translation. Transfer-based approach is an approach where analysis is done up to a certain level. Okay? And then we transfer by application of rule to the target site and then produce the sentence. This is the basic idea. And transfer-based approach has been extremely popular for a very long time until it was upstaged by statistical machine translation. Okay. The most successful commercial system, namely Sistra, is transfer-based. So there is this large consortium project in the country for Indian language to Indian language machine translation, and that makes use of transfer-based approach. Transfer-based approach is quite intuitive to understand. Again, we do morphological analysis, pause tagging, chunking, vibhakti computation. I will not go into details of this. Named entity recognition, words and disambiguation. After the transfer to the target language side, obtain the words of the target language. Get the agreement features. Get the intra-chunk processing. Get the intra-chunk processing, and finally generate the words. So this is a typical transfer-based approach machine translation scenario. So we have used this for Marathi Hindi machine translation. So at this point, let me introduce the notion of evaluation in machine translation. I can always build a machine translation system and claim any kind of performance figure, but there are set prescribed ways of evaluating the output of the machine translation system. So there are these scores. Score 5 is correct transmission. Score 4 is understandable with minor errors. Score 3 is understandable with major error. Score 2 is not understandable. Score 1 is nonsense translation. This also can happen. Okay. So if you don't believe what it means, so we have built a machine translation system for 11 languages. Okay, and this is a pair-based machine translation system. So there are 110 translators. I'll demonstrate this very soon. But let's take a very well-known machine translation system, Google. I think many of you have used this translator. So while this is coming up, the two important entities which are considered for machine translation are adequacy and fluency. Okay? The meaning should get transferred from source sentence to target sentence. and the target sentence should look good. The first requirement is called adequacy, the second requirement is fluency. So to understand this, let's try here. Does everybody understand Hindi? Are there people from other languages also? Like from South India? John has eaten. John khaya hai. So, is this translation adequate? That means, is the meaning transferred? No? Right? No, is the meaning transferred? Don't confuse adequacy with fluency. Okay, we'll need this concept later as we go on. So, do you get the meaning that John has eaten? Okay? So then, of course, this is the question of fluency. This is not a fluent sentence. It's not a well-formed sentence. John ne khana khaya ya John kha chuka hai. Okay, that is what is expected. Okay, so let's distinguish these two points very carefully. As we go ahead in statistical machine transfer, we'll see that there is one component of the machine learning system which takes care of adequacy, meaning transfer. The other component takes care of fluency, by means of language modeling. So John has eaten. John khaya hai is not fluent but adequate. John has eaten an apple. John ek seb khaya hai, meaning transfer. John has eaten an apple which came from Simla. John Simla से आया है जो एक सेब खाया. Is it adequate? No. Adequacy is violated. The apple came from Simla, not John. Okay, that's the meaning. So, how is it in? How is it in Bengali? John Shimla application is directly apple khawa. It is neither fluent nor adequate. And somebody from Andhra could tell me how is it? Is it well formed in Telugu?
Right.
Correct? Adequacy, fluency both?
Verbal engine is not good. Is not.
Is the meaning distorted or meaning is proper?
Meaning is not distorted.
Okay. This is our system. I don't know what this will do. But Shimla is a great tourist attraction. Let's take English Hindi. And I hope the system is working. It was working yesterday. Okay, Shimla एक महान पर्यटन आकर्षण है. Meaning is transferred, right? But fluency महान, I don't know. How is it in Marathi? Any Marathi speaker? Yes? शिमला खूप पर्यटन आकर्षण आहे. Okay, meaning transferred but not fluent. Gujarati. शिमला महान पर्यटन आकर्षण है. Mahan is not right. For some reason it is getting Mahan on that time. Okay, let's just for completeness sake, let's take two closed languages. So let's say Hindi to Marathi. Should show the Hindi screen. शिमला दिल्ली के पास है. No, it should be Shimla Delhi चा जवळ आहे. Huh? Okay, so let's see what do we do. This is Google. This is Shat Anuvadak, our Anuvadak. Hindi. Shimla Delhi के पास है. We'll choose Marathi. Shimla Delhi चा जवळ आहे. Seems better than Google. No? What do Marathi speakers say? Yes. Okay. And what about Gujarati? Shimla Delhi ni, what is it? Shimla Delhi ni nazik hai. But when the languages are far apart, what happens? Tamil is any Tamil speaker here? Malayalam, Tamil, okay. Okay, let's see Tamil. We also transliterate, huh? Shimla Tilliku Arukil. Is it correct?
Correct, sir.
That's right. So, Telugu. Telugu. Shimla Delhi की दक्षिण का उन्दी. Correct. So we'll just see what does Google do for Telugu. Delhi Shimla Samipannu undi. This is also nice. Huh? This is using a Sanskrit word. Okay, so I think you got an idea. So adequacy fluency, let's remember. Okay? Meaning transfer and well-formedness. So as per guidelines from ministry and expert committees in the country, we have this kind of evaluation. And accuracy is obtained by number of sentences which are at level 5 multiplied by weight 1. Number of sentences in level 4 with 2.8, number of sentences in level 3 2.6. Others are given weight is 0. So when we have done this analysis, we found that for web downloaded corpora of 500 sentences, we got an accuracy of 65.32%. Roughly what it means is that about 65% of the sentences, okay, about 300 sentences, were acceptable to good quality. Okay? And that's not very surprising because Marathi and Hindi are very close languages. In fact, Punjabi and Hindi are doing very well. Now we move to statistical machine translation. At this point, is there any comment or any question? The whole goal of this part was to describe what is involved in machine translation. What is the challenge in machine translation? Any question?
Sir, the machine translation systems developed by both Google as well as your model, they are complete or general domain or a specific domain?
No, ours is tourism domain. Google is general. Ours is tourism. And trained on only about 50,000 sentences. But I think we do well in some pairs because we do morphology analysis. Okay? Indian language machine translation is not possible without doing good morphology analysis. I have a lot of discussions on that. Similarly, for Turkish, Arabic, Hungarian, languages which are morphologically rich, pure SMT cannot work.
So we have a mediate model of all morphological analysis for the Indian languages with Google and with IIT Bombay.
Did Google take the morphology analyzer?
No. Now whether we have any this NLP tools available with Google and as well as US IIT Bombay people, sir, to they are full-fledged morphological analyzers.
Difficult question. Nobody knows what Google has.
Yes.
Not easy to know. But Google has enormous amount of parallel work. Enormous. Okay. I have gone to conferences where Google researchers have said that machine translation should not be attempted by anybody. This is Google's problem. Enormous amount of parallel work. So we'll see. Okay. So statistical machine translation. Where does SMT fit in the Gauss triangle? SMT is nearer to the bottom of the pyramid, bottom of the triangle. Okay. SMT has the attraction that you can very quickly create machine translation systems here.
This translation systems like Google or the way you have the one which you are doing it.
Yes.
They have this user-based labeling whether is this sentence meaningful or not.
So has this been evaluated?
Not evaluated, like, could you, I mean, if I see the translation and I know that it is correct or wrong, I could label it as correct or wrong.
Kind of feedback. Exactly.
Oh, okay. We don't do it. Google does it all the time. Google does it all the time. Okay, I want to show you an example. Multi-words are a very difficult problem. Okay, and very few translator systems do a good job. Yes, I'll tell you. One second. The question was when you get the translation output from Google Translate, and if you change the output, okay, then this changed output, which is correct, goes back to Google as a feedback, and then Google can improve its system. This Google has done, for example, for transliteration. Google Translator is extremely good, very high quality transliteration, and this has happened because of this continuous feedback from the user. We also would like to do it. Yeah.
Sir, we have been talking about NLP, but there is one question that you wrote SI.
Search engines, all large text processing applications maintain what is called a spell variation list. Okay. So in Indian languages, for example, you could write Angad in two different ways, okay, Nandan in two different ways, with a bindi or a half noun. So these kind of spell variations are maintained very meticulously by all large applications.
Sir, is there any involvement of Unicode in this?
Very much. All the strings in Unicode. So look at this sentence. Is it good practice? My grandfather kicked the bucket after suffering from cancer. It's completely wrong. This multi-word, kick the bucket, has not been deciphered. Okay? But it is only a matter of time. I'll not be surprised if after 2 months you will see that this is getting translated correctly. So I could correct this now. Okay? No, they do not give any options here, but I could correct this and then Google will take this as a feedback. Okay, so let's move to statistical machine translation. Now to give you a flavor of what is involved in statistical machine translation, we will do a small exercise. Okay, I give you this parallel data. Nesu, I carry. Ponese, he will carry. Nese, he carries. Neso, they carry. Yedu, I drive. And Tabo, they swim. These are actual Czech words. Okay? And Czech is also, like Indian languages, a subject drop language. Okay, subject can be dropped from the sentence. I don't have to say equivalent of I for check. Jaunga is fine. You don't have to say मैं जाऊंगा. It's clear who is going. So this is the check English data, and English must have a subject, as you know. So so this is the parallel data. Look at this data, and then solve this problem. What will be the translation of I will carry? I will carry. And when we solve this exercise, we will get all the essentials of statistical machine translation. I will carry. Hmm? Punesu, who said this? You surely know Czech. You know Czech, right? No? What is the translation? Is it correct, Punesu?
Yes, it should be.
No, Nesu.
What about this? Day drive?
Nedu?
Yedam. Okay. I think a lot of people know here Czech. The point is, none of us know Czech, but we are able to translate a new sentence. Okay? And this is the main idea of SMT. What we are doing is that we have to translate I will carry. Okay? So let's begin to find correspondences. What does I correspond to? I have I here, I carry, and I drive. The common string in I carry and I drive is I. The common substring is you. So I must be corresponding to you. Okay. Okay. Good. So I can correspond to E or U. So I have established this correspondence, and since there are two possibilities, I attach a probability score. This is what SMT does first. Okay. It establishes mappings with probability score. So next thing I have in front of me is I will carry will. What will it will correspond to? So where do we find will? He will carry. So something in Ponese must correspond to will. Oh, I see. So okay. So now will maybe there is some substring here which will correspond to will, and carry.
ESC? SS?
So I see I carry here Nesu, and he will carry Ponese. The common string is Nes. So we have resolved that carry must correspond to Nes. Okay, and I corresponds to U, and will corresponds to Po. So we have got three mappings: Po, U, and Nes. Okay, the next task is to arrange them in a proper check order. Okay, so that is known as the syntax planning, or in statistical machine translation, it is called decoding. So should it be Po Nes U or U Nes Po, or Nes Po U? Which one of them? So here we will apply what is called language modeling. Okay, and we will see which string is most common, or which string is actually present in the language. Po Nes U is present, and therefore that is the correct string. Okay, so this particular exercise says many things about how statistical machine translation is done and what are the main elements of statistical machine translation. First of all, this is a machine learning situation, right? A machine is getting trained from examples of this kind of correspondences, machine learning. So next question is, what algorithm? There are many machine learning approaches and algorithms. What algorithm should we add? So that we will see very soon. Next question is, the mappings are between what and what. Okay, so I corresponds to U, carry corresponds to Nes. This has a term in statistical machine translation that is called establishing the phrase table mappings. Okay, this is phrase table construction. And then finally, when we create a Po Nes U and not U Nes Po, that is solving the decoding or language modeling problem. All these are statistical machine learning steps. Okay, and this exercise shows this. Now, the interesting thing was, those of you who solved this problem did not know Czech. If you did not know English, then also you would not have been handicapped. You would have produced. We'll just do one more exercise to tell you where machine learning will fail. Where it will fail. We'll take English Hindi data, okay, and we'll try to do the same exercise. Can you translate? I will carry from this data. Don't use your Hindi knowledge at all. What will the data lead to? I will carry. So let's do the same exercise. I carry and I drive. So the common string is man and ahu. Man and ahu. So I has something to do with man and ahu. Right? Then carry. I carry and he will carry. So मैं ढोता हूँ, this is ढो. ढो. So मैं ढोता हूँ and वो ढोएगा. So the common string is ढो. ढो. And I will carry or he will carry. I think ega corresponds to will. Okay. So I will carry will become मैं ढोएगा. मैं ढोएगा and who also will. Okay. So this we know is wrong. Why did it work for Czech and why not for Hindi?
Because verbs carry gender information.
No, you can drop the subject here also. So ढोता हूँ, ढोएगा, ढोता है, all this is fine. You can drop all the subjects. It will still be fine. And if you do that, the translation of I will drive will come as, I will carry will come as ढोएगा हूँ, which will be wrong. Okay? Phone is who. Who was for future, who was for first person. Cleanly separate. Here, ahu, okay, then ega, he will carry, ढोएगा for example, ढोएगा, drop woha. Ega carries the information of future tense and he, both. Okay? But unlike Czech, they are not clearly separated. Within the suffix you can see a particular substring which is for he and which is for future. Future will be go. Okay? मैं आऊँगा वो खाएगा. Go is for future and आ is for. Okay? So this says that if I want to do SMT on this, I have to go and break the suffixes also. Okay? So that tells us a message, and this is the current thinking on SMT also, that we have to make use of factor-based machine translation, which breaks words into smaller parts, gets the linguistic information, and then machine learning. Okay? So there are many deep issues here, but we'll go ahead, and I think you appreciate the point. You have your notes, so try to solve it for Bangla English. In Bangla also, he will carry, she boibe, you can drop she. But there are more problems, because in Bangla, this bo is the root for carry, and ibe, boi is the root for carry. Be is the suffix for the morphological information, but that carries the information of he, will. It can also be ola boibe. Okay, it can also be plural. So when we have lots of morphological information fused into one suffix, there is a lot of ambiguity at that level, and then SMT will not work very well. Okay, this shows why morphologically rich languages require more machinery for SMT. Okay. Now let's get into mathematical foundations. So statistical machine is a data-driven approach. Here is the setting. Given a foreign sentence F, we would like to obtain the best possible English sentence E, and that is obtained through an argmax computation. So argmax, E goes over all possible English sentences, PE given F. Now PE given F is sorted by Bayes theorem into these two parts, Pf given E into Pe. So why should we do this? Why should we apply Bayes theorem and turn it into two parameters? Okay. The reason is what we have already seen now. Reason is adequacy and fluency. Okay. This way of breaking the probability into two parts very nicely captures the language model, the fluency part, and the translation model, the adequacy. Okay. If the translation is good, adequacy is good, then this probability will be high. If the sentence is well formed, then probability of E should be high. This is the main idea. Okay. So this is a situation where generative model and application Bayes theorem is very reasonable and in fact required to isolate these two parts of the translation evaluation. Okay. Any question at this point? This is the foundation of SMT. Now, how do you estimate these parameters? Pf given E and Pe given and Pe. So this is to be estimated by making use of generative model, and we have to introduce a hidden parameter called the alignment parameter. A is the alignment parameter. So let's see what we mean by alignment. Look at this example. Ram went to school. Ram Pathshala gaya. Okay. So Ram in English corresponds to Ram in Hindi, and the position is maintained. When is in the second position, but it has gone to the third position in Hindi sentence. 2 doesn't correspond to anything. And school corresponds to Pathshala, but this is in the fourth